Hey, what is up guys? Epic Pokemon TCG here, and today guys I've got a deck profile for you, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at Trevenant Vileplume, one of the newer decks that Guardians Rising pretty much sprung up because of Trevenant. If you guys enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe if you're not subscribed, it'll be much appreciated. So Trevenant, like I said, one of the new cards of Guardians Rising is pretty good. I like it. It's a grass type, so it's going to benefit from Force of Giant Plants just like Vileplume, and the attack Poltergeist has perfect synergy with Irritating Pollen. So what Poltergeist does, it does 30, and then your opponent reveals their hand, and it does 30 damage times the amount of trainer cards you find there. So because it says trainer cards, that is going to hit for stadiums, supporters, and item cards. So that's really good there. And with Irritating Pollen, your opponent's not going to be able to play their item cards down, so that's just going to be more damage that you could potentially hit with Poltergeist. And it only takes a DCE, so with Force of Giant Plants and Double Colorless Energy being in the format, you can just play it down immediately, attach an energy, and just start attacking. You probably noticed that I do run the break as well. The break is in here because Silent Fear is an extremely powerful attack, and how this deck is built, which I think is the best version to go with this deck. You're going to have Psychic Energy in here, so Silent Fear is going to be an attack you're able to do. It does 30 to all of your opponent's Pokemon. So that's just a way for you to sit there and rack up some damage, and with Irritating Pollen slowing down your opponent, that's just going to be a lot of pressure. And then you have Poltergeist, which is going to be really beneficial. You can also have that Psychic weakness advantage if you're going against a deck that runs Garbodor and it's shutting down your Irritating Pollen. You're going to be able to Lysandre it up and then hit for weakness, so you won't have to have as many cards in your opponent's hand that Poltergeist can hit for, which is really good. The break has multiple uses, and you'll find that out as you play games and continue on. Overall, this deck is very annoying, and it's extremely powerful, especially with how fast this deck can be. You don't want to waste all of your resources trying to get that Vileplume out as soon as you possibly can. Yes, it would be ideal to get it out turn 1, but you don't want to burn through absolutely everything and kind of screw yourself over. So that's just something to note. That's a issue I had to get over, because I would just be burning a bunch of unnecessary resources trying to get the Vileplume. But overall, this deck is really good, and it's very annoying to play against. Now I'm going to talk about kind of the idea here behind this deck. So I run 2 Tapu Lele as soon as I get the card right here. So essentially, since I'm running Tapu Lele, I can run Psychic Energy and use Tapu Cure. You can't really necessarily just play your item cards down because of Irritating Pollen whenever that comes down. So Tapu Lele is pretty much just going to be there to guarantee you a supporter throughout the game if you're able to draw into it or Ultra Ball to it. You can play it down, and then that'll help you set up for your Vileplume or just whatever you might need. Of course, you can't Ultra Ball when this is out. Don't worry, I caught that. So it also has Energy Drive, which does 20 times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon. So if you're going against a deck that really cranks a bunch of energy onto a Pokemon, like 3 or 4 or something like that, then that means you're going to be able to use Energy Drive and just hit for a ton of damage. Also, it doesn't have weakness. And with Tapu Lele GX, that is going to allow you to just heal 2 Pokemon on your bench, which is extremely powerful. And if your opponent's just kind of hitting you really hard, and you just retreat and they don't draw into a Lysandre or something like that, and you have 2 attackers sitting on your bench, or you have a heavily damaged Vileplume sitting on your bench, Tapu Lele wipe that right off and heal it up fully. Wonder Tag also is a very good ability. Like I said, it just guarantees you supporter. And with this card in here, it allows you to play the break, which will give you some more HP for your attacker. Along with that, the Psychic Energy, you can have that in there too, so you can use Silent Fear. But I think this is just kind of the route you should go with this deck, because it just kind of makes it a little more consistent and gives you another attacker you can kind of run with. I also play a Jirachi in here. Jirachi with Stardust is just a handy card in case your opponent is heavily favoring on Special Energy. I know some decks run 4 DC only now, and getting rid of one of those could be really clutch. On top of that, they can't use their special charge to get it back in their deck because you'll have Vileplume out. So I definitely had to add in a Jirachi, just because Jirachi is really good and really clutch in a lot of different situations. But yeah, that is the Pokemon there so far, and it's going to end with 2 Shaymin EX. This is 100% real and not printed off, I promise. Liar! But Shaymin is just going to be in here for setup. It's going to allow you to have a little more consistency along with the Tapu Lele. So that is the Pokemon there. Just a 4-4-1 line of Trevenant, a 3-3-3 line of Vileplume, 2 Tapu Lele, 2 Shaymin, and then, of course, 1 Jirachi. So the strategy is extremely simple. Set up Vileplume, use Poltergeist, and then the break is in there for a lot of different situations. And if your opponent is just running straight up special energy, or you just need to pass yourself a turn and just kind of stall a little bit, you can use Jirachi's Stardust, which is pretty good. This deck's very annoying. So next up we have the supporter cards here. We have 4 Sycamore, 3 N, 2 Lysandre, 1 Olympia. You really can't use Switch whenever you have Vileplume out, and there's really no point in really putting it in the deck. So I went with Olympia. The Lysandre, of course, you can bring up stuff off the bench and just kind of pick them off. The N and the Sycamore are just the best draw supporters in the game. Make your deck a little more consistent. 4 Force of Giant Plants. Like I mentioned earlier, this is just going to allow you to be able to basically go Phantump, Trevenant, and then you can go Oddish, Gloom, Vileplume without having to wait. So yeah. And then it gives you a counter stadium too, and playing 4 of them, it just makes it to where you can open with it a lot easier or draw into it. Plus that counter stadium is very good. For the ball cards, we have 4 Ultra Ball along with 3 Level Ball. This is just going to give you a way to search out your Pokemon. Like I said, Ultra Ball, since you run Tapu Lele, if it's in your deck, is a guaranteed supporter. And then the Level Ball will allow you to get your Gloom, Oddish, and Phantump and Jirachi a little easier. So that way you can just get that stuff out of your hand, thin your deck out, and set up a little easier. And then we have 4 Trainer's Mail. This is just in here so that way you can potentially fetch out some stuff and help your setup. And then if you lose a Vileplume, it can help you regain that Vileplume back. That is why Revitalizer is in here too. If your Vileplume goes down or you lose a Trevenant line and you're able to play it, you can just get it right back up. Or if you need to Ultra Ball, you can discard 2 of your grass Pokemon to like maybe get an Oddish and Revitalizer, get those Pokemon back, start evolving. There's a lot of different things you can do with Revitalizer. 3 Floatstone. Basically what you'll want to do with this is before Vileplume even hits the field, like when you're still in the Gloom and Oddish stages, you want to try to throw down a Floatstone on these immediately, just so that way your opponent isn't able to Lysandre up a Vileplume that takes 3 energy to retreat, and you'll just have it sitting there like this. The Floatstones come in clutch. So basically these are in here for the Vileplume. The high count is so that way you can put them on Vileplume, and then of course Trevenant has a 2 retreat cost too. So if you don't want to pay a DCE retreat cost, that I didn't even pull out Trevenant, I pulled out Phantump. Wow. You can just play it down on Trevenant too. So that's why that's in there. For the energy, we have 4 DCE and then 4 Psychic Energy. Like I said, you run Tapu Lele, and this gives you the advantage of using Tapu Cure. So that means Psychic Energy can go in here, and it'll also help you with Silent Fear. So yeah, I apologize if I sounded really out of it. It is 3 in the morning. It is 3 in the morning, and I'm extremely tired. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like it, subscribe if you're not subscribed. This is personally, in my opinion, the best way I think you can build Trevenant Vileplume. Is going with the heavy Tapu Lele line, just because it guarantees you a supporter and it'll allow you to set up a little easier. If you open with a dead hand and all you have is like an Ultra Ball, you can still Ultra Ball for like an N or something, or a Sycamore, and just get yourself set up there. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care. I love you. And this is Epic Pokemon TCG signing out. Take care, guys.